सन्नेव स भवति असत् ब्रह्मेति वेद चेत् अस्ति ब्रह्मेति चेद्वेद सन्धमेनं ततो विदुरिति.
The one who does not accept the existence of Brahma ceases to exist. But the one who accepts the existence of Brahma, the wise, recognize his existence.
Yaschandasam rushabho vishwarupah chandobhyodhyamrutat sambabhuva samendro medhaya sprunotu amrutasya devadharano bhuyasam shariram me vicharsanam jivha me madhumattama karnabhyam bhuri vishruvam brahmanah koshosi medhaya pihitah shrutam me gopaya om shanti shanti shanti.
This female voice does not seem to be familiar. Did women to recite Vedas during Vedic age? Let me go and find out. Oh ho! So this voice belongs to Vachaknu's daughter Vachaknavi Gargi.
Enough of studies. Now it's time to find a husband for Gargi.
It is her right to find her own husband. She will find one whenever she wishes. But does her education have to end if she finds a husband?
I cannot argue with you, father-daughter. She keeps on chanting Lopamudra, Lopamudra. I don't want to make her another Lopamudra.
Why? What's wrong with being Lopamudra?
Living amidst you Vedic Pandits, day in and day out, I'm aware that Lopamudra too had desired marital bliss.
Lopamudra, daughter of King of Vidarbha and wife of Maharshi Agastya, an erudite sage and a princess. Totally engrossed in his quest for knowledge, Maharshi Agastya paid no attention to his royal wife's marital needs. And so the wise Lopamudra initiated a discussion to make Maharshi Agastya aware of his duty, which became a part of Rig Veda. It was such a learned Lopamudra who composed 320 shlokas or verses contained in 3 sections of the Lalit Sahasranam.
I don't want to give Gargi away to some rishi who is totally absorbed in acquiring knowledge. Now, get this straight. I want all the joys of married life for my daughter. Are you listening?
Here, here, here! The king of Mithila Janak, Videha Janak, has organized a Brahma conference. From faraway lands, ascetics, scholars, philosophers are arriving to participate in the conference. Ved scholars, students are all invited to the Brahma conference.
Father! Father, Videha Janak has once again organized a spiritual conference. Great philosophers of Aryavart would be there. Acharya Aruni Uddalak, Acharya Ushasti, Acharya Kohal, Acharya Vidagth, Shwetketu. And perhaps one may get to meet Acharya Yagyavalkya too.
You are not going anywhere.
Why? Why can't Gargi go there?
I don't want to make her a scholar of Brahma. Wonder why these girls get enamored by rishis engaged in the endeavor of realizing God. They go there to defeat the rishis, but return vanquished themselves.
Mother, Dinvishwara, Apala, Kosha, Kathi, Kalapi, Kaharvachi, Rumsha, Sulbha, Yami, Vashwati, Maitreyi participate in Vedic conferences?
Didn't Maitreyi get defeated by Yagyavalkya after all?
Getting defeated by Yagyavalkya is an honor by itself.
Keep quiet, chatterbox. Gargi shall not go among poverty-stricken young rishis. Do you hear?
Father! Father, didn't Ghosha suffer from an incurable disease?
Yes, perhaps it was leprosy.
So how did it get cured?
Dirghatama's granddaughter Ghosha was a spiritualist. She could not get married due to her incurable disease. She had the joy of being erudite, but not of healthy body. Perhaps that was her only unfulfilled desire. So she prayed to the Ashwini Kumars, the physicians of the deities. Ashwini Kumars cured Ghosha in order to fulfill her that desire and...
Father, I too have an incurable disease.
Child, what are you saying?
Yes, Father. Without knowing that truth which the rishis called Brahm, I too will not be able to get well.
Child, now I know what is your incurable disease. You won't relent unless you go to the Vedic conference, isn't it? Go quietly without telling your mother.
Huh?
I'll manage everything here.
Father!
Gargi, what is this Vedic conference about, for which you pine each day like a maiden who is terribly missing her lover from morning to night?
Well, do such events occur daily? Vedic conferences are organized only occasionally in years.
What is this spiritual conference about?
It is a conference which is organized for the affirmation of Brahm.
And what does one do there?
Inquiry.
Inquiry? Into what?
Into Brahm. Sarvam Khalvidam Brahm. It means all that we see in the world is Brahm. Who am I? Who are you? How was the world created? Who created it? All such matters are discussed in Vedic conference.
And who is this Yagyavalkya?
Oh gosh, don't you know Yagyavalkya?
Well, I don't even know Brahm, so how could I know Yagyavalkya?
Yagyavalkya, a firm abider in Brahma, a great seer, an erudite scholar who was invincible in all debates, is known as Vajsani, Brahmarath, and also known as Devarath. He learned philosophy from Rishi Uddalak, Vedas from Rishi Vaishampayan, and the science of yoga from Rishi Hiranyanab Kaushalya.
All Brahmins study the Vedas. But what is so special about Yagyavalkya that you wish to listen to him?
I have heard that he was extraordinary from childhood. Once when he was learning Rigved from Rishi Shakalya, a king named Supriya came to his village during the 4 monsoon months for a spiritual sojourn. King Supriya requested Shakalya. So Shakalya started sending one of his disciples to him every day in order to perform Yagya. On one such day, Yagyavalkya, after performing the Yagya, was about to sprinkle the ritual water and rice on the king's feet. The king suddenly asked him to sprinkle water and rice on a dry piece of wood lying nearby. Yagyavalkya did just that. But surprisingly, after some time, the king saw some fresh sprouts spring up on the wood. Seeing green leaves sprouting on dry wood, the amazed king asked Shakalya to send Yagyavalkya once again. But Yagyavalkya refused to return to the arrogant king. The guru was furious with his disciple for disobeying his command in this manner. He asked Yagyavalkya to return all the knowledge acquired from him. Yagyavalkya regurgitated all of the knowledge in front of all disciples.
The branch of knowledge disgorged by Yagyavalkya is called Taittiriya.
And after that, Yagyavalkya left Acharya Shakalya and learned the Yajurved from Acharya Vaishampayan. It is said that Yagyavalkya worshipped the sun god to acquire the knowledge of Brahma. And today, the entire northern region acknowledges his knowledge.
Gargi, your mother is looking for you.
In all this talk, I lost track of time. Now I'll get a real scolding from her.
Not scolding! Knowledge of Brahma!
In Vedic literature, apart from Arundhati, Gargi, and Maitreyi, the names of Aditi, Jahu, Shiva, Vapula, Apala, Lopamudra, Shrimati, Vedavati, Dharani, Romasha, Sulabha, Yami, Indrani, Siddha, and Swadha are mentioned with respect. Well, in that Vedic conference of Videha Janak, Brahmins from faraway lands like Kuru and Panchal gathered. Among those were Jaratkaru Artbhag, Ushasht Chakrayan, Kahol Kaushitakeya, Aruni Uddalak, Vidagdh Shakalya, and even Gargi.
Vidagdh, we shall not let Yagyavalk win today. Understand?
कामयत बहुस्यां प्रजायेति सतपोतप्यत सतपस्तप्त्वा.
O venerable Brahmins, whoever among you is God realized and possesses the highest spiritual knowledge shall take away 1,000 cows adorned with 10 precious gold coins on each of their horns from my barn. It's my promise.
1,000 cows with 10 gold coins tied to the horns of each of them. Nobody could believe their ears. To think that they are the most superior in the highest knowledge of the Supreme. None had the courage.
Oh dear Samshrava, you may take away the cows tied in the barn.
Yagyavalk, are you one of the most superior knowers of Brahma?
I bow to whoever is the best here. My ashram requires the cows, so I'm taking them away. Now whoever considers himself to be established in Brahm, he may come forward and challenge me.
Yagyavalkya, you cannot take away even a single cow without answering my questions.
And one after the other, Artbhag, Ushasth Chakrayan, Kahol Kaushitakeya, and Aruni Uddalak questioned Yagyavalkya. Then, Gargi challenged Yagyavalkya.
Revered sages, now I, Vachak Navi, shall challenge him with a couple of questions. If he can answer both of my questions, then you will never be able to win against him in a spiritual debate.
I'm ready, Gargi.
Acharya Yagyavalkya, just as a young Kshatriya lad from Kashi or Videha stands holding a highly strung and mounted bow and 2 lethal arrows in his hand which can cause extreme pain to the enemy. Here I stand before you.
Ask your questions, Gargi.
And Gargi questioned him about the true nature of the self. Kalatreyapi tishtati iti sat. It means that which is eternal, which remains changeless in the past, present, and future, and which does not alter in these 3 periods of time. That is the truth. That itself is the self. There was never a time when it did not exist. There shall never be a time when it will not exist. It is akhand, it is indestructible, it is changeless. Death is signified by change from one form to the other. Just as a bud ceases to become a flower ceases and becomes a fruit, and the fruit a seed. However, the self is changeless. It forever remains the same. The body ultimately dies, our thoughts change, and the world changes. But the self ever remains the same.
That which is above the skies and below the earth and is between the skies and the earth, the one which people refer to as the past, the future, and the present. Who created it? What does it pervade and permeate?
It pervades the space. Akashev tadotam cha protam cha.
Salutations, Acharya. For answering my question, here is my second question for you. Now, here is my second question.
Ask Gargi.
By whom was the space created? What does it pervade?
Gargi, the one you asked about, is the same one, whom the realized ones call Akshar, or call Brahm. That is the self. That is truth. He is the one who remains the same in all conditions. He is neither beautiful nor not beautiful. He is neither gross nor subtle, neither extended nor curtailed. He is neither light nor darkness, neither sky nor air, and neither form nor shadow, neither love nor infatuation. He is neither fire nor water. He is not taste, not smell, not sight, not sound, not mind, not speech, not luster, not life force, not mouth, nor measure, within whom there is nothing, outside of whom there is nothing. He is beyond being accompanied and unaccompanied. He has no end, nor can anyone bring him to an end. He is eternal, infinite. Gargi, that very Brahm, and due to that very Brahma's authority, the sun and the moon remain located in their own places. Due to the authority of that very Akshar, the earth and sky remain constant. Due to the governance of that Brahm, mountains remain steady, rivers flow. Entirely due to the governance of that Akshar, people praise those who do charity. Devtas expect people to perform yagyas, and ancestors expect to be offered libation. Gargi, without knowing this Akshar, this Brahm, this self, the one who performs yagya, performs penance unceasingly, all the acts of such person become unsuccessful. Gargi, the one who leaves this world without knowing the Akshar Brahm is a pauper, unfortunate, and deserves to be pitied. And the one who becomes immortal by realizing Akshar Brahm, he alone is a Brahmin, a God-realized one. Gargi, that Brahm pervades the entire world in the form of this existence all around us. That Brahm is trees, that Brahm is animals, that Brahm is all of us. That Brahm is I, that Brahm is you, that Brahm is they. This is itself is the self. Existence depicted by that is itself is the self. The truth itself is the self. This itself is our actual nature. Abnormalities may occur in form, but the self is formless and without abnormalities. Gargi, that Brahm himself is the unseen seer within all of us, whom no one has seen, but who sees everyone, whom no one has heard, but who hears everyone, who cannot be contemplated upon, but who contemplates on everything, Gargi, whom no one knows, but who knows everything about us. Other than this Brahm, there is no other seer who sees, listener who hears, thinker who contemplates, or knowledgeable one who knows. The sky has been woven by this Brahm itself. That itself is truth, which is undiminishing, immortal.
Masters, no one can defeat him in such a debate of knowledge. It will be the best for us to bow to him and declare him the winner.
Dear viewers, the threads with which this world is woven, we are not separate from those. We ourselves are a manifestation of the truth, the Brahm.
एतदक्षरं गार्गी अविदित्वा अस्माल्लोकात् प्रैति सकृपणः अथय एतदक्षरं गार्गी विदित्वा अस्माल्लोकात् प्रैति सब्राह्मणः.
Hey Gargi, the one who leaves this world without knowing the indestructible one deserves to be pitied. But the one who leaves this world having known that indestructible Brahm, he alone is actually a Brahman, the knower of Brahm. This declaration of Yagyavalkya is true to this day. Dear viewers, in reply to Gargi's question, Yagyavalkya's commentary on truth as nature of the self is encapsulated in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad.
And incorporated in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad is the famous dialogue between Yagyavalkya and his knowledgeable wife Maitreyi about blissful nature of Atma.
Dear viewers, it is from this very same Acharya Yagyavalkya that we obtained the Shukla Yajurved, and it was he who wrote a commentary on the Krishna Yajurved. Maharshi Yagyavalkya wrote Sang Shatpat Brahman, Yagyavalkya Shiksha, Vrihad Yagyavalkya, Vrihadangiya Yagyavalkya, texts about yoga, and also created Yagyavalkya Smriti.
The Vedic era's poets here, Yagyavalkya's Yagyavalkya Smriti was used as a reference book in legal proceedings during the reigns of the Mughal and the British.
To these great masters Yagyavalkya and Gargi, our salutations.
यस्य प्रसादात् भवमङ्गलार्था प्रसूत गङ्गो